taste in my mouth, Ken. I had to get a mouthful of popcorn.
I understand that.
I don't even know where to begin. We didn't lose the game. Well, we did. We lost the game at the start, at the open, and that's really disappointing. I take a great deal of personal pride in making sure our guys are ready, and I said it out on radio. I really had to get all over them at shoot-around today. And kudos to our bench. Greg, great. Trent, great. Guys that hadn't had to perform did. DeMonte was huge in that. Was I supposed to go or not?
Yeah, absolutely, Coach.
DeMonte was great in that segment. He single-handedly kind of kept us, or at least he gave us a fighting chance. Give Maryland a lot of credit. We knew what they would do, spread us out. I played their team last year. We talked about it, but when you don't play with any fight, the first, let's go 25 minutes. I couldn't even coach against Maryland. There wasn't any of that involved. It was trying to get these guys to even fight, to compete, to get back in it. And to their credit, they did. But we did what we had to do to get back in it. You shoot 68% in the second half. You force a very, very good Maryland basketball team into 25 turnovers. You force an elite point guard into 7. That's 13. We forced 2 of the better point guards in the Big Ten into a lot of turnovers. I told our team before the game how proud I was. Maybe that was a big mistake because I think we're getting better defensively. And we're playing well enough to win. We played well enough at Wake. We played well enough at Northwestern to win the game. And on the defensive side, to overcome 19 turnovers in each of those first 2 losses and still have a chance to win. We're doing some doggone good things defensively. And that was obviously not the case tonight, just no effort. But early, but a lot of fight late. I give our guys a lot of credit for that. And Mark was great down the stretch, as was AJ, getting us back in it. And then Laurent also made some big plays down the stretch. But give them credit. And obviously late we weren't. That was self-destruct mode late. That's unacceptable and stuff that I've got to. We've got to work on. I've got to continue to coach those moments and get better. But I think we had 4 straight turnovers, if I'm not mistaken, in that stretch. And the game's won. Game's over. I mean, all we got to do is go make free throws and 4 straight turnovers. So, Mark was great. Made a bad play at the end. And I told him in the locker room, tell him in front of you guys, you got to make him shoot the ball in. And but give Maryland credit. They made the plays. They made the tip in. We didn't block out. All things you got to do to win a game.
We'll take questions for the players.
Aaron, this is 2 games in a row where you guys had a chance to close it out in the final minutes and just nothing got going. What did you see? Coach called it self-destruct. What did you feel on the court?
I'd say it was self-destruct. At some point, the team has to come together and start making these winning plays down the stretch. That's when it's important. I mean, we're in Big Ten play now. Everybody's good. The winning plays will win us a game.
Rob.
Mark, you were the closest guy to DeMonte on the inbounding play at the end of regulation. Can you talk about what happened?
I'm not sure what happened. We got to just win better. Execute better down the stretch. I'm not sure what happened, but
I got to do a better job of getting open and getting in his vision so he can see me.
Aaron, what did you sense in the first half, and what went wrong for the team there?
First half was unacceptable. As a team that will be talked about just between players, coming out like that, I mean, that lost us the game right there. I mean, we can't start like that, and we know that. And just going back and looking at it, it was pathetic on our part.
Anything else for the players? Nope, right here.
Either one of you guys could take that, but what were your guys' emotions when you guys made your surge in the second half to eventually take the lead? And maybe Mark especially here, what was your thought process as you nailed that three to take the lead?
Well, coming out to halftime, we just wanted to continue to one possession at a time, and once we got back to the game, obviously everybody's amped. We wanted to win the game so bad, but like Coach and AJ said, down the stretch we can't make them bonehead mistakes.
Anything else for the players? Okay, thank you, guys. Questions for Coach Underwood?
Brad, you have bandages on your two fingers there. Was that part of trying to motivate them?
Yeah, there's a trash can that I didn't like very well in the locker room.
Brad?
What was the inbounds play? What was the attempt? Was it to throw it deep, or were you trying to get the ball in bounds?
No, it's a play we call arrow. I've run it forever. We knew they'd take a guy off the ball. We would go with the first guy. I thought he was open. Got to make the pass, and it was not to throw it deep. It was to get the ball in to get fouled. We've got about three that we run in those situations. When you're late game, you've got to want the ball and you've got to cut to get the ball. And DeMonte's our best passer. We had him taking the ball out. Mark Alstork, the play was to try to get him the ball, senior, making free throws. Look forward to seeing it on film.
Brad, we kind of talked about this last game, but how do you teach how to make winning plays?
Part of it's instinctive, but you can't play with fear. You can't play with fear, and you can't play afraid to make those plays. A lot of it's experience, lack of. And I go back to, and I told Kipper, I go back to Kipper's play. He got a rebound. The game's on the line. It's over. Get it to our point guard, and he just pitches it with nobody looking. That's fear. That's fear. He's too good a player. He's too talented to do that. Then the very next play tries to make up for it and travels. Those are mistakes that we can't make. And I can't explain the lob for the life of me. I mean, that's the game's over. They have to foul. The game's over. All you have to do is move the ball, burn clock, and and then not to block out. And won my share of them. The other, on the other side of it, because our teams do those things. But we've let three slip late.
Shannon?
Thought you had it, sorry. Obviously, it's frustrating right now, but do you feel like, the different things you mentioned this game, the start of it, making some errors, the fear, do you feel like this is a game you're going to be able to pinpoint later on or use as kind of a point-two game of things
Well, there's one every year. I think there's one every year. I think that's to be determined. I'm really curious. We controlled the entire Northwestern game and lost. And so I think our guys felt okay about that. I wasn't very happy. I didn't. And then to not see the fight tonight, I'll be honest, I was scared to death. If that's our team and we're going to go do that again, oh my goodness. So I hope so. I hope they realize now that that's a learning and a teaching moment, that we can't show up and and not be our best. I mean, that was they said it, unacceptable. I said a few other things at halftime, but it was not. So I hope so. I hope, because I think we've shown those are two really good teams, two NCAA tournament teams, and experienced teams with really good talent that we can play with anybody. Now we got to find out a way to win.
Rob?
Obviously, it took a while for you to find a lineup tonight that you liked. At the end, there was no Mark Smith and there was no Michael Finke. Can you tell what's going on with Mark right now?
You know, I think it's what every freshman may go through. I think there's growth, and there's certain levels of adversity that people go through. Mark Smith's going to be a really good player, and competition stepped up, and defensively he's got to continue to work and grow. I got all the confidence in the world in Mark Smith, and from the defensive matchup, you know, that was why I didn't. You know, Michael was out late. Was the you know, based on their lineup as much as anything.
Brad?
Kind of piggybacking on that question, are you still trying to figure out, you know, who's, you know, minutes have changed? Are you still trying to figure out who can guard in this situation, who can make plays in this situation? And
Absolutely.
As you're going through this?
Absolutely. You know, you guys realize the lineup that was I think the starting lineup was minus 22 at Northwestern or something ridiculous like that. And the lineup at the end of the game, in the Northwestern game, who do I have? Tijon, DeMonte, and Mark Alstork. And we just shut people out. I mean, we were tremendous. That group was defensively locked. Mark Alstork makes so few mistakes defensively on the weak side, and so does DeMonte. And then Tijon's ball pressure. So you go with that. You know, we talk about this all the time in practice. You're only as strong as your weakest link on the defensive end. You put one weak defender out there, and it all crumbles. And that group's. So I'm trying to figure all of that out. And tonight you saw a little offense, defense. You know, Trent sold me on a couple things. I wish he'd have run Herder off the line at the end, but you know, saw Trent, maybe a breakout for Trent Frazier tonight, and maybe a breakout for Greg, because I thought Greg was really active early.
Second half, second half until overtime, Cowan was pretty much wrapped up. Alstork and DeMonte were on him most of the time. What did they do to take him out of the picture? I mean, he didn't even get a shot off like about the first 15 minutes.
Well, what we were trying to do to open the game, make the same thing we did with McIntosh, make his touches really hard. Once he gave it up, we didn't let him catch it back. And you know, the first half, we literally didn't guard him. And then we wanted to force him into the paint to make passes. When he goes, you know, the scattering report thing, when he goes left, he likes to score. And when he goes right, he likes to pass. But we wanted to make him have to make plays and decisions that were not scoring the ball for himself. I thought we did just a much better job of just being tuned in to scattering report, and then we made his touches hard.
You touched on it with Trent, but aside from the Herder three out of the corner, what did you learn from him tonight? Because he did seem to have maybe a little bit of a breakthrough game.
Well, I think he got some confidence. I think that's the biggest thing Trent Frazier needed, and you know, Trent got a great look against Wake from the top of the key, and he missed it. Didn't hit the rim, and to me, that's fear. That's being scared of the moment. Tonight, we didn't see that Trent Frazier. And Trent's been, to his credit, he's been in the gym. He's been working his tail off. He's been getting up a boatload of shots. He's been grabbing coaches. And you know, we all know Trent's a very, very capable scorer. Trent played today like he's been practicing. And it's almost been scary dominant how good he's been in practice.
Jim in the back.
Coach, yesterday was 1 year since DeMonte tore his ACL. Can you kind of discuss how he attacked the rehab and how he's kind of gained your confidence so early in his career?
Well, a lot of that early, you know, happened in Peoria. So I give all those people a ton of credit. And That's never an easy injury. My son went through it as well, so I know the process that entails. And then to really have no summer. I mean, his job was here, but nothing on the court. Very, very limited, just ball handling and things like that, and was fairly restricted in the weight room with what he could do. But DeMonte approaches everything with a professionalism that I learned to admire, because he's very matter of fact about everything he does, and we're going to continue to see him just continue to improve. He's getting in better shape. He's getting stronger. All those things are heading in the right direction for him.
Scott.
6 offensive rebounds Friday, 7 tonight. I mean, that's a significant drop from those first 6 games. Is that the level of competition, or is there something more underlying, to that?
Well, I think the one thing is that we get 2 from our starting front court, and Kipper gives us a plus there. I thought we just got physically. I didn't think we competed on the glass in the first game against Northwestern. Tonight, at least, I thought we competed. Now, the second half, there weren't many to get. I mean, we shot 70%, but the number I do like, I mean, we shot 70 field goal attempts. We out-field goaled them 11. We have to get better on the glass. Those are easy baskets and easy opportunities for us, but our guards aren't getting them. DeMonte had one. AJ's been pretty good, but tonight he gets shut out. But that's an area we got to continually strive to work on, and level of competition doesn't matter.
Okay, thank you, Coach.
Thank you.